Let's rewind our clocks back to 450 BC and meet Greek physician Hippocrates. Hippocrates was the first to formulate a theory on humors. He believed that there were 4 humors present in different constitutions in the human body. The 4 humors in question here are blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Hippocrates believed that it was the constitution of these humors which affected a person's temperament. He also believed that each person had a dominant humor, which would then serve as a deciding factor for their overall personality. These 4 humors are also directly connected to 4 elements. These elements are air, fire, earth, and water. In addition to being related to the 4 elements, the 4 humors are also connected to the 4 seasons, which are spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Now it's time to find out how the humors, elements, and seasons are all interconnected. Let's take a look at the 4 different personality types. First comes the popular sanguine, which is related to the humor blood, the element air, and the season spring. Next comes the powerful choleric, related to the humor yellow bile, the element fire, and the season summer. Then there's the perfect melancholic, related to the humor black bile, the element earth, and the season autumn. And lastly, the peaceful phlegmatic, related to the humor phlegm, the element water, and the season winter. Now it's time to take a look at the individual characteristics that make up each one of these personality types. In psychology, one of the basic ways in classifying a person based on their personality is to see if they are an introvert or an extrovert. An extrovert is someone who gets their energy from other people and are typically categorized as being friendly and outgoing. Cholerics and sanguines are the 2 more extroverted personality types. Introverts, on the other hand, get their energy by being alone and often feel tired after social interactions. Melancholics and phlegmatics are the 2 more introverted personality types here. But of course, not all extroverts are social bees and not all introverts are depressed loners. It's just a broad classification that tells us which of the 4 temperaments are outgoing and which of them are reserved. Another way to classify the 4 different personality types is to see if they are more task-orientated or more people-orientated. Cholerics and melancholics are more task-orientated. They're great at getting things done and often do well at desk jobs. Sanguines and phlegmatics, on the other hand, are more people-orientated and do well at jobs that involve more social interaction. To sum things up, sanguines are outgoing and people-orientated. Cholerics are outgoing and task-orientated. Melancholics are reserved and task-orientated, while phlegmatics are reserved and people-orientated. Although the 4 personality types share a lot of common traits, there are also 2 sets of complete polar opposites here. Cholerics and phlegmatics are the first set of polar opposites, while sanguines and melancholics are the second set of polar opposites. Now let's take a deep look at the first personality type, the sanguine. If the 4 personalities were a family, then the sanguine would be the child. This is because sanguines are very childlike, naive, and innocent in nature, much like Peter Pan, who's often categorized as the boy who would never grow up. More than anything, sanguines are social, extroverted, fun-loving, and talkative. They're comfortable in a social environment and need people around them to function. Sanguines are also usually good at making things fun and enjoyable for everyone else around them. While sanguines do enjoy talking to others, they mostly enjoy telling exciting stories, which is why they love a good audience. Although this trait is what makes sanguines very entertaining people, it also makes them self-centered. Their self-centeredness is one of their primary weaknesses. Sanguines are very attention-seeking and forget to think about others. Although they're not cruel at heart, they often end up being inconsiderate because they're always thinking of themselves and their interests instead of the bigger picture. They're very impulsive in nature and so tend to act before thinking and may hurt people's feelings in the process. A sanguine's biggest strength, however, is their optimism. They have an undying passion for life and always live to the fullest. They're always enthusiastic, energetic, and are a bundle of joy. This charisma of theirs often lifts up other people's spirits. Sanguines are not only good at cheering up people, but they also enjoy doing it. One of the reasons why everyone likes sanguines and enjoys being around them is because of their optimistic attitude. Sanguines are very confident people. They have high self-esteem and often stand out in a crowd because of their flamboyant personality. They are warm, friendly, and bubbly. Although they love venturing out to try new things, they hate monotonous routine. They cannot do one thing for too long. At first, they're very enthusiastic about the task at hand, but it doesn't take long for them to get distracted or lose interest. They're very restless when it comes to time-consuming tasks, and they're extremely forgetful. These qualities make them both a little untrustworthy and irritating to some people. Sanguines are innocent and naive, but they can also behave very childishly. I mentioned before that they just don't want to grow up, and this is probably their biggest flaw. They don't know when to stop having fun and when to start being serious. They don't have any goals or plans. They're disorganized, undisciplined, scatterbrained, and inconsistent. They want credit when they don't deserve it and tend to show off. Sanguines are very emotional, can be angered easily, and express themselves without hesitation. On the bright side, they don't hold grudges and tend to move on quickly. A sanguine's immaturity is their main problem, as it stops them from moving forward in life. Often sanguines have very creative ideas about what to do, but don't actually accomplish much because they are so weak-willed. In summary, sanguine strengths include an optimistic passion for living, a lively and spirited personality, the ability to interact socially and have fun, the ability to entertain and cheer up people. On the other hand, some areas of improvements for sanguines are self-centeredness, immaturity and childishness, lack of responsibility, and lack of focus. Now moving on to the next personality type, the choleric. Cholerics can be best described as natural-born leaders. Many of the great leaders that shaped our world were choleric, including Julius Caesar, Bill Gates, and Margaret Thatcher. These are people who were born and live to lead. And of course, cholerics possess all the qualities of a good leader. They are persuasive, have a risk-taking ability, are decisive, and resourceful. When it comes to tasks and projects, cholerics are at the top of their game. Unlike the sanguines who usually start a task and then lose interest, cholerics are able to see it through and actually finish it. They're basically people who are very good at getting things done. Cholerics often do well in important positions of leadership because of their straightforward approach, practical and productive thinking, and excellent communication skills. They are also competitive and extremely goal-oriented. They set goals for themselves and almost always accomplish them because they're so focused when it comes to getting things done. While they are good at work, they sometimes immerse themselves too much into a task and become workaholics. Although they may seem uptight, cholerics are actually very adventurous, daring, and innovative. They're always looking to get better and better, and often inspire others through this attitude. However, the bottom line is that when it comes to a task, they do it their way and nobody else's. And this obsession with doing things their way is what makes them stubborn, domineering, and bossy. They are very capable of making others feel victimized and insecure. Unlike sanguines, cholerics don't need people to function, and they certainly don't listen to what people have to say. They're very independent, bold, and self-reliant, and have no need to socialize. While this helps them to focus on and succeed in their careers, it gives them a few unflattering qualities. Cholerics basically don't care what others think of them. They're outspoken and don't stop to consider others' feelings, and this can make them behave in a rash, inconsiderate, unaffectionate, and insensitive way. Unlike sanguines who sometimes hurt people without realizing it, cholerics hurt people intentionally, out of anger or arrogance. They also don't mind being crafty and manipulative if it helps them accomplish their goals. Not only do cholerics want to get things done, they want to get them done fast. They want to see immediate results for their hard work and are not prepared to wait. And so they become impatient and intolerant of slow or inefficient people. They get angered quickly, tend to lose their cool, and argue. A choleric is very likely to succeed in whatever they do as they possess some wonderful qualities. But their insensitive behavior sometimes make them unpopular amongst and disliked by others. To summarize, choleric strengths include leadership, decision-making skills, commitment to goals, strong-willed nature, independence and self-reliance. And some areas of improvements for cholerics include showing sensitivity to others' feelings, being patient with both people and tasks, respecting and listening to others' opinions, behaving in a calm and level-headed manner, and taking time out from work to be with loved ones.